morning. It was Friday, 2 days before the Christmas, and United Nations came up with a bombshell. The resolution was passed against Israel, and the tragedy is that the country which had been very supportive of Israel just abstained, admitting that the resolution was uncalled for. But Obama had to have the satisfaction of betraying Israel. Unfortunate. The resolution itself was unfortunate. If you look at the history of Israel and Palestine, you will find that the most of the transgressions have been against Israel. It has been a country more sinned against than sinning. Its people have been persecuted for the last 4,000 years. And yet, today, single-handedly, this country is one of the most innovative, one of the most technological advanced countries. This country has been responsible for a great achievements in science, in technology, in health, and in agriculture. But it's an anathema to the Palestinians, and by corollary to all the people who want to be politically correct. I remember long back, there was a meeting of the three great ladies, Golda Meir, Margaret Thatcher, and Indira Gandhi. And one Israeli political leader remarked that in case any Arab state presents a resolution to the UNO, and the resolution, for example, reads that the earth is flat, UNO would not hesitate to pass that resolution. It is so subservient to the Arab ambitions and the Arab thought, to the Palestinian terrorism, that it will not call a spade, but would take up any step against Israel. Now, the plea normally taken is that the Jewish settlements are a danger to peace, and they cause acrimony, they cause strife, they cause ill will. These settlements were not there till 1967. Israel became free in 1948, or it came into existence in 1948. Was there no war between 1948 and 67? Was there a single year when the war did not take place, when the Israeli children were not killed, when the innocent citizens did not meet unexpected mayhem and death? Never. It was the result of Balfour Declaration and the UN decision, UN mandate, that the two states were to be created, Palestine and Israel. That resolution was accepted by Israel, and Israel came into being. The Arabs and the Palestinians rejected that resolution, and naturally that state did not come into being. Had they accepted the resolution, there had been no issue, but they did not. And would you believe that what the Palestinians are demanding today is much lesser and much smaller in area than UN at that time was giving them? Nevertheless, it was 1948, the new state of Israel came into being, and within a few months, all the Arab states, Transjordan, Arabia, Egypt, name it, Syria, Yemen, they joined forces and attacked Israel. And no country came to help Israel, but Israel, by their own grit, determination defeated the hordes of Islamist invaders. Then the things continued. The Suez Canal issue was there. Then Six-Day War was there. And every time Israel was attacked, it never attacked. And when it was attacked, it fought back. And everybody has a right to self-defense. The first intifada was there, and then the second intifada. Hezbollah, Hamas, Muslim Brotherhood, all these terror groups supported by USA and Arab petrodollars were trying to snipe at Israel, and they were failing. However, the political leadership of USA was steadfast in supporting Israel till the time President Obama came to the White House. And then, the track changes took place. Now, the point is, nobody objects to the right of the Palestinians to have their own country. UN admitted it in way back in 1945 during its discussions, and 1948 resolution clearly stated. Israel even today says that it's willing to give them the state level, and there's no problem with that. Then where's the hitch? The problem is that the Palestinians want a state, but they do not want Israel. Iran has taken a vow to wipe Israel off the map of the world. Now, UNO has not passed a resolution against this decision of Iran. These settlements are a protective buffer zone that Israelis have created to protect themselves from the terror attacks. Now, what there can be objection to the creation of a buffer zone? Some countries create a no man's land and place mines over there so that nobody can penetrate. And this is a very, very valid civilian use of land, that the population grows over there, and those settlements are a protection of Israel and a normal way of life. There should not have been an objection, but the problem with the Palestine is that when there is not an issue, they'll create an issue. They have built tunnels under the border so they can go, attack Israel, and come back. And not a day passes when we do not hear the horror stories. Earlier we had seen the ineptitude of United Nations in making Saudi Arabia the leader of the Human Rights Protection Organization. The Human Rights Commission of United Nations has Saudi Arabia as its leading figure. What a travesty. Saudi Arabia, which has a track record of worst human rights, is a protector of human rights according to United Nations. United Nations has a penchant for doing anything at the behest of the political powers that be, especially in the White House. And the White House has a penchant for playing second fiddle to the Islamists. You see, Islam as a religion, good or bad, I'm not going to the semantics of that. I'm going into the political situation as it prevails today. If Palestinians have a right to live, so do the Israelis have a right to live. And can anybody show a single instance, right from 1948 till today, when Israel has initiated an attack, you would not find any one of them. At the same time, if you see, it has been a victim of attacks, not by one country, not by two countries, but by 28 countries at one time. And two or three companies have been usually combining together to attack Israel. And then after attacking Israel, they go and want to make peace. Syria lost Golan Heights in 1967 war and then made a separate peace to get back the Golan Heights. Egypt signed the peace treaty. Even Saudi Arabia is having better relations with Israel. And just 3 days back, the defense minister of Pakistan had a gumption to say that they will have a nuclear attack on Israel. And the reason was he read a fake news and reacted to that. Why did the UN not condemn that attack, that statement of the defense minister of Pakistan, in which he threatened to bombard Israel with the nuclear bombs? Why was there not a single word of condemnation from President Obama? I mean, the imagination staggers when we see the whole episode of the creation of Israel, the persecuted Israelis, and the continued carping, making the life unstable for the millions of Israelis and the Jews over there. Coming to the settlement issue, as I said, even if you remove the settlements, there's the guarantee that there will be peace. As I said earlier, right from 1948 to 1967, there were no settlements. And that was the worst period of war, strife, and bloodshed. So, whether the settlements are there or not is not going to affect. Secondly, this country has produced 110 Nobel Prize winners. Why can't we let them live in peace so that they continue to contribute to the growth of knowledge, capability, to protect and to safeguard and promote human life, health, and advances in diverse fields of knowledge? Why this reaction? You see, this is simply because of two reasons. One is the jealousy. We are not great, so why should Israel be great? You cannot protect against them. Second is, how dare these Israelis come over here, forgetting that they are the original inhabitants of this land. You remember, let's forget for the time being this resolution of UN. Earlier, UNESCO had taken a very stupid decision, and that was to say that the Jerusalem should not be the cultural capital or the religious capital of Israel because it has some Muslim monuments. They forgot that Jewish religion precedes Islam, and Jerusalem is sacred to the Jews, to the Christians, and to the Muslims. I don't deny it. And the Israeli offer that all three religions coexist should have been worked on. Rather, the temples of Jews were deemed to be Muslim property. They negated all historical evidence. UNESCO negated all archaeological evidence and wanted to make, in fact, Jerusalem a heritage solely of Muslims. This partisanship, this rank favoritism, rather succumbing to the servility to the Islamists is sad and frightening. At times it looks to me that the political leader who said that UNO would pass a resolution saying the earth is flat, provided some Arab state sponsors it, seems to be true to a great extent. The only thing is that till now, the blatant partisanship of United Nations has not been questioned with the people. People mostly have accepted the decisions of United Nations as gospel truth. And that is why India refused that the UN Commission in Kashmir would not be the arbiter. They can stay there. But India would never permit UNO to become an arbiter in this dispute. That is why other countries have also refused to accept. You remember the time of Korea? UNO declared war against North Korea. Now imagine the whole world ganging up against one country. And the result of that war, today we see when North Korean dictators are threatening the United States of America. The reaction is there. What right had UNO got to say that they'll gear up the complete army? It was a civil war between two countries, period. Between one country, basically Korea. There was a civil war between North Korea and South Korea. It was their internal affairs. And that happened because Russia at that time had vetoed UNO, boycotted UNO, and USA had a free play. And they passed a resolution, and it was done. Till today, the record of UN has been dismal, pathetic, and if you want to be charitable, laughable and ridiculous. There is a need to wake up to the reality and realize that UN resolutions are not worth the paper they are written on. It's time to realize that UN is an organization that is biased, that's partisan, and is redundant. This is an organization which was meant to keep peace and is today, in fact, an instrument of persecution of the helpless, helpless nations, and is just a servile camp follower of the big nations. It's time to realize that Israel has a right to exist. It's time to realize that no resolution which goes against the sovereignty of any country or which is partisan shall be acceptable to the community, to the world community at large, to the conscience of the people. It is time to have a relook at the Israeli situation as well as at the UN itself. This resolution of UN definitely calls for an absolute overhaul or proper burial of this institution. And the sooner we do it, the better it would be. At the same time, the conscience of the world should wake up to the fact that all this combined persecution of Israeli should stop forthwith so that Middle East doesn't erupt into a conflagration that envelops the whole world. Act today. Tomorrow would be too late. Thank you.